So over the weekend, my 8-year-old broke my Templeton Fork Outfitter Axiom 2 fly rod. I'm going to try to repair it with an Amazon kit, and this is my attempt to do so.
So a new section of that rod is about $80 from the manufacturer. So we're going to try this $18 kit, which uses epoxy and resin, some threading, some cups for mixing, some sandpaper, and some tools. And the most important part, which I don't have, are these rods, which are going to go inside for the structure. So basically I'm supposed to pick one of these rods. They're solid, so they're solid rods that will fit inside of one of these things. So you can see inside one of these rods, it's hollow. So one of these should fit inside. Okay. So this one looks pretty promising. So it fits this one loosely. So I prefer one that's tighter. The tighter one is a lot bigger. So these are 2 diameters. Those are only 2 of them. They're adjacent to each other. So let's see here. So for the top one, it's pretty loose still. So I can either sand this one down to fit this, but that's a lot of sanding. This is quite a bit larger than this. Or I can just use this. Maybe I'll sand this one. I'll give it a go. Cause this one, if it broke a little lower, it would have been fine. Like if it was here. But looks like this is the one that I'm gonna have to go with. Well, let's see if this would have been good for like up here. Yeah. So I'm gonna do some sanding, I guess, to make it fit in these 2 holes. Okay, so I'm outside right now because I don't know what the hell I wanted to breathe in right here. But I saw on the internet the guy basically took one of these things, put on a drill essentially, and then just took sandpaper and just went to town. So let's see how fast this goes. I'm not gonna do it here because I don't want to breathe it in, so I'm gonna do it somewhere far away. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. So we're gonna need to take one of these cups and we need to mix some epoxy and resin to it. Hopefully this is extremely hard. Okay. All right, so we gotta take out this cap. Okay, so that's resin. Here's the epoxy. Okay. So we're gonna put some resin here, and then some epoxy here. So cap those, and then we'll do some stirring using one of these stirring sticks that they provided. I think I'll just use this end. Okay, so it says let it sit for 5 minutes. So we'll be back. Okay, so we've been stirring for a little less than 5 minutes, but I think we're good. So we're gonna do a real quick test fit real quick. So this side is gonna go this way, and this side, actually, so I think this side is a little smaller, so we're gonna try to go this way with it. Okay, so that is that. And then this side is here. So I think I want to mark the halfway point here. Okay, we're using probably epoxy, so we'll do the top first. All right, so we'll cover this halfway with epoxy. It's gonna get covered everywhere. Just put it on heavy. Okay. A lot of epoxy right here. Okay, so we're gonna try to glue it up to where that glue is. So let's give it a go. Push it in. So you can see all this epoxy squeezing out here. There we go. All right, so that is about as far as I can go with it. So I let that last drop. So now we're gonna flip this around, and we're gonna cover this other side with glue. Lots of glue. Same as this way until it drips out. Okay. So much epoxy right here. Okay, so this whole thing is covered in epoxy right now. Okay, then we'll squeeze this other end into it. Okay, we gotta take that glue forward so it drips back in here. Okay, here we go. Whoa, it's a lot of epoxy squeezing back out. Make sure it lines up. So I gotta line up the eyes. All right. So make sure that goes around. Okay, cool. All right, step 2 is to wrap this fiber around it. So this is where it gets kind of tricky. This fiber is pretty thick. I might do this color one so it's easier to see. It doesn't say particularly there's a difference in the fiber. So we're just gonna roll with it. Okay, so let's take some glue. We'll just tap the outside with a little bit of glue. Tack the outside with glue. That's a lot of epoxy still. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I've discovered a new way to doing this, which is way more efficient. You just roll this thing around it, which then just takes the row and you don't have to watch for And we have the stuff flying all over the place. This is way faster too than doing it the other way. So just curl, curl, curl. Put this down. Okay, we're gonna push the bottom down and the top down as well. Okay, keep going a little bit longer. I want the middle to be stronger. Whoops. So we're gonna do more curls in the middle. All right, I think that's enough spins, so it looks like this now. We're gonna trim, well, actually, let's see if I can tie a knot around here. Or maybe that's too fancy, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna just trim it. We're gonna hold it taut. Trim it. And we're just gonna, let's see if I can tie it. Just put some epoxy on here. Hopefully that will hold it tight. So I'm putting probably all the remaining epoxy on here. Okay, I think we need a little bit more, like right at the end here. Okay. Okay, cool. Now we gotta make sure the eyes are still aligned. They are, okay. I guess well, that's the whole fix. It's not in focus though. Here we go. Here you can see, which side's the camera on this side? You can see the whole fix here now. My hand is a little covered in epoxy, but that's okay. Probably wash off. Here, we're gonna push that down, maybe. I should have just made it way uglier. So we'll take this stick and flatten that out again. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry outside and we'll come test the strength later. Okay? Okay, bye. So here we are, next morning. Looks good, except the drip, where it dripped exactly where that tag end was. So I think I'm just gonna try trimming it off. All right, I cut off the tag end, but there wasn't a tool. I could sand the rest of it, but I wanted to be very careful not to also cut the threads. This is kind of the final product, so we're gonna let it cure for another 8 hours or so, and then we'll test out the strength.
So we went to the local park, my daughter and I wanted to show you how the rod still flexes very well, it still casts very well. I'm able to hit all the spots with it, and it seems to be holding up fairly well, this epoxy fix. So next I'm gonna test the strength. I had my younger daughter hold on to the end of the rod as I try to mimic a fish, and you can see here the rod still bends fairly well. Even in the spot where the repair occurred, it actually still flexes. So I would say that for $18 on Amazon, this is definitely worth trying. If you have a broken rod, it sure is a lot cheaper than $80, but I'm going to try to catch some fish on it this weekend and see how it holds up. I will report back.